Robert Johnson was born in Mississippi in 1911 and lived a short, difficult life shaped by poverty, segregation, and constant movement. When he first appeared in the Delta blues scene, he was considered unremarkable. Contemporary musicians described him as awkward and technically limited. Then, after a long absence, Johnson returned transformed. His guitar playing was suddenly precise, complex, and emotionally devastating. It was this sudden change that gave birth to the legend. According to the lore, Johnson went to a crossroads late at night, where a dark figure tuned his guitar and claimed his soul in exchange for mastery of the blues. This story was not invented by Johnson himself. It emerged from a cultural mixture of Southern black folklore, Christian symbolism, and fears surrounding unusual talent. In African American folk tradition, crossroads were places of transformation and spiritual exchange long before they were associated with Christian demons. The figure at the crossroads was not originally Satan, but a liminal guide, something between worlds. As the story spread, white audiences and later journalists reframed the tale into something more sensational. The unnamed figure became the devil. The spiritual transformation became a Faustian bargain. This reframing stripped the legend of its cultural roots and replaced them with a moral warning: extraordinary talent must come from something dark. Johnson's music itself fed the myth. His lyrics often referenced hell, demons, wandering spirits, and judgment, but this was not confession, it was tradition. Blues music frequently used religious imagery as metaphor, especially in a world where suffering was constant and redemption uncertain. To later listeners unfamiliar with that context, the metaphor sounded literal. Robert Johnson died in 1938 at the age of 27 under unclear circumstances, likely poisoned. There were no crowds, no headlines, and no recognition. The myth did not fully form until after his death, when his recordings were rediscovered and elevated as foundational texts of modern music. Only then did the Crossroads story harden into legend. The truth is less supernatural and more unsettling. Johnson practiced relentlessly. He learned from older musicians. He absorbed styles, techniques, and regional influences. His deal was not with a demon, but with obsession, isolation, and a life lived on the margins. The real horror of the Robert Johnson story is not that he sold his soul, it's that society refused to believe a poor black man could achieve brilliance without supernatural explanation. The devil became easier to accept than dedication.